Hey there, Year 11s. We're going to do this example here. We've got theta, which is an angle that's in radians, and it's working between pi to 3 pi on 2. That tells me that's probably in quadrant 3, because pi is over here, and 3 pi on 2 is over here. So theta must be an angle that is larger than 180 degrees, essentially. What they tell you is that in this particular diagram that I've just drawn, that means that this triangle that I have, that's 90 degrees there. So if I drew it a bit larger for us to see, we don't know what this angle is, but we do know it is theta minus pi, okay, well, minus 180 degrees. And that should give you that angle, that spot there. But let's just call that alpha for now. What we do know is the sine of this angle. So that triangle, sine is the y value. So at this point here, there is a y value, an x and a y value. When you say sine, it's asking for this length here. So this is the angle theta, and sine of that angle, which is the y value at that angle, is equal to p. So essentially, it is telling me that this length from here to here is p, okay? And we know in the unit circle, the hypotenuse is 1, and now they want you to find cos of theta. So essentially finding this length here. Okay, now we know cos of theta is equivalent to adjacent over hypotenuse, but since hypotenuse is 1, really you're just trying to find the length of A. So I can use Pythagoras' theorem. In this case here, I can work it out and say, well, Pythagoras' theorem would say 1 squared is equal to p squared plus a squared, isn't it? And so therefore, I can write it as 1 minus p squared is equal to a squared. So a should be equivalent to the root of 1 minus p squared. Okay? Remember, cos in that region, cos is a negative at this point. So it's negative of that length. So from here to here, that's meant to be root of 1 minus p squared. But since it's negative, that's why we can say that the x value, because they're asking cos, really the x value at that point has to then be negative of root of 1 minus p squared, whilst the y value, which we already know, is p. Okay, so that's how you answer the question. This is sine of theta, whilst this is cos of theta.